Influencers are starting to become a target for lawsuits, and they're getting sued in two different categories for dumb stuff they're doing or crappy products or companies they end up promoting. So I want to break down the two primary areas that influencers are getting sued. And if you are one, someone who promotes brands or an influencer online, what you need to be doing to make sure you're protected legally so that your assets aren't at risk for the things and companies that you're promoting. So let's break this down into two main categories. First, I'm going to call this first category defamation or negative comments or things you say about companies or brands. The greatest example of this is Jean Laguerre, the T-Mobile CEO, who came out and made defamatory statements against Grant Cardone. Everybody knows Grant Cardone is the influencer. Well, Jean Laguerre is another guy, influencer, big in the space, former CEO of T-Mobile. He made defamatory statements against Grant Cardone and got sued for him. Now, there's so many examples of brands that go after influencers. Another one that was kind of a small influencer was a YouTuber named Dan Greider. This guy went out and made negative comments against Charles Cook, who owns an aviation company and a small airport. And he had comments about this guy's personal life, sexual extramarital affairs, and also his negligence in not maintaining airplanes and operating a business in an unsafe manner. Well, he got sued for saying that stuff. Charles Cook didn't like that, so he sued him and won a $1 million judgment against this YouTuber for those defamatory statements he made. So you got to be careful of what you're saying online about anyone. I don't care if you're an influencer or anyone just expressing opinions online. You have to make sure that what you say is accurate, or you have to be very clear that these are simply opinions about something. If you represent something as fact and you say something as it's factual and then make a negative inference to a person or a business and they have damages become of that, you can be put on the hook for defamation. You could be responsible for their losses for the defamatory false statements you made about them. Now, this doesn't mean you can't go say anything about anyone you want. You can, as long as it's true and accurate. The first defense, if you get sued for defamation, is truth. You can say, I said something negative about so-and-so, but it happened to be true. And so if it's true, you've got a great defense. But if it's not, if you're speculating and coming up with stuff or going too far with something they've done and saying it's actually worse than what it really is, that is something they can base a defamation claim against you for. So let's be careful about what we say online. Now, if you don't know, say that. Or if you want to just express an opinion, say this is just my opinion. I don't actually know one way or the other. And then go ahead and make your statement. So those of you that like to go make negative statements or say things that can cause harm to someone or a company, just make sure it's factually accurate so you don't get on the other end of a defamation lawsuit. All right, now the other category of where people are getting sued is influencers out promoting brands and the brands end up going belly up. FTX is the one we've all seen, right? From the Super Bowl commercial with Larry David to Tom Brady. He's still getting made fun about it in the latest roast. They're even making fun of him there. But there's a ton of celebrities that endorsed FTX, a crypto product and company and exchange, that ended up going bankrupt and belly up. So customers of FTX went out and sued all these celebrity endorsers and all these influencers who went and promoted FTX because they went ahead and said that FTX is a great company and you should use FTX. And then these people ended up losing money. Now, those cases are still pending. Some people have already settled out on this. Trevor Lawrence, for example, is one person who settled out already on the FTX case saying, I'm going to pay some money. I'm getting out of this. But Tom Brady, Larry David, the whole slew of them, they are still on the hook in this case from people who invested and lost money with FTX. And the next big influencer case is Mr. Beast. Now, Mr. Beast is getting sued by his own company, Mr. Beast Burger, for failing to promote the brand. Now, Mr. Beast sued Mr. Beast Burger saying, you guys created a crappy product and haven't lived up to my service standards, so I'm not going to go promote your business. But it's important if you're an influencer agreeing to engage in a contract to promote a brand that you're clear about your expectations and that you do your due diligence on the company before you go and promote them. The number one smart person on the FTX case, the person who looked like a genius after this was all said and done, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift was asked to promote FTX. But unlike Tom Brady and Larry David and all the other celebrities who jumped and took the check, Taylor Swift looked into the company or her representatives and said, nah, I'm going to pass. I'm not putting my name and reputation on this company that I don't have trust or confidence in. So for any influencer out there, the first way to avoid any lawsuits or reputational risk or anything like that is simply by operating with companies, entering into contracts with companies you know and believe in that have a reputation or a track record. Now, the other category here where influencers can get sued is from the FTC. The FTC has sued a lot of publicly publicly traded companies from BMW to Apple and many big companies, in addition to influencers and people who promoted their brands because they failed to disclose that they were being paid to endorse these companies. So if you're an influencer getting paid online to go promote companies, you need to disclose that you're doing that. If you're promoting it through a video, you need to disclose in the video. If you're promoting in print, you need to disclose in the print. Most social media platforms now have options for people who are paid to promote to say that. They can tag it and say, this is a sponsored post, or I'm paid to promote it. So now that is a federal law. It's a federal requirement for any influencer in the US out promoting brands or products. You need to be clear that you are being paid to promote. Now, if you're an influencer, how do you protect your assets? Well, the best way to do that is what our law firm calls the trifecta. This is how we separate all of our business owners' assets from operations. Because if you're in a lawsuit from your operations out being an influencer promoting a brand, we don't want them to be able to sue you and get at all of your assets. So we like to separate your assets from operations. And here's how we do this. We call this the trifecta. My law firm, KKOS Lawyer, sets these up every day for clients. I don't care whether you're a doctor, a dentist, a social media influencer, a real estate investor. We use the same structure for everyone. In general, we separate clients into two different divisions in their life. Their operations, where they're earning income. This is your business. And on the other side, we have your assets. I have my operations, which can be an LLC or an S corporation. We generally like to use an S corporation if you're making more than $50K a year. There's tax savings to doing that. Another video, check it out here, about how the S Corp works. Even Joe Biden freaking uses an S Corp to save on taxes. Okay, legit strategy, you'll pay less tax for your operating businesses. Now, I want all of your influencer affiliate income going into your LLC taxes in S Corp or your S Corporation, and then it's paying you, okay? You own the company down here 100%, or maybe you've got partners in there, but all that income's coming down to you once it gets to the company first. Now, if there's a lawsuit that happens over here, where can they go? Well, they can go sue the company itself, your business, your LLC or corporation, but they get stuck there. They can't come down to your personal assets, and they can't come over here where we're going to put all of your other assets. And on this asset side, this might be my rental properties, and those are maybe owned in an LLC. This could be my brokerage account. This could be an IRA. This could be my cash in a bank account. Okay, all these assets on the right side are protected because I'm using this LLC or corporation to protect me, and it contains the liability. If I get sued because I endorsed FTX, and I did this through my company where I was paid and my contract with FTX was, they'll be forced to sue my entity. They can't come over here and sue me personally. They can't get over to my assets. This is where the limited liability protection, that's a limited liability company, that's what LLC stands for. This is where that comes into play. So every business owner, I don't care whether you're an influencer, doctor, dentist, like I said, lawyer like me, architect, we want to use this structure to separate our operations, what can have liabilities, from our assets. All right, now that's the basic preliminary asset protection structure you should be using. Get to a law firm that knows how to do this. Our team at KKOS Lawyers, that's my law firm where I'm a partner, represent clients across the country. We have 11 lawyers working with clients every day, setting up these structures to help you minimize taxes and protect your assets. Now, the best way to protect against a lawsuit and to protect your assets is to not even have one from the beginning. So be careful with what you're saying online, and be careful with the companies you're working with. And if you do get in that unfortunate situation, make sure you've planned ahead. You've got your assets properly structured. With the trifecta, you've got your assets separated from your operations. Please make sure you're subscribed to my channel. I'm always here teaching how to build wealth, save on taxes, and protect your assets. We'll see you next time.